Kelsey Evans with Yoga Lifestyles, and today we're continuing the series of mindful recovery with an inversion practice. So inversions, before we get started with the flow, they are physically lifting your hips above your head. So technically down dog is an inversion. Today we'll be focusing on two culminating poses at the end of our flow, which will be crow pose and also working into handstand. And why inversions, you say? For me, my mindful recovery came through my inversion practice by literally and physically flipping my perspective from a new way, looking at things from a different angle. So I hope that you find freedom today in this flow, and let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna start in a standing position, and I want you to bend slightly at your knees and spread your feet wide. We're gonna find cat-cow standing. So hands come towards your knees and round through your spine, suck your belly in, draw your chin towards your chest for cat. Then inhale, drop your belly down, look high for cow. Exhale, press round. Really try to exaggerate your spine. Inhale, look forward. Last time, exhale, press round. And inhale, look forward, cow pose. Forward fold, drop it down. Keep those legs wide. Hands low, ragdoll pose, hands around the elbows. Slight bend at the knees since this is your very first forward fold. And relax your head, finding freedom through your very first inversion. So this is a much more restorative inversion than some of the other poses that we'll be taking today. So we'll hang out for about 2 more breaths. Starting to flip your perspective even here. Releasing the hands on your exhale, lift halfway, inhale, hands towards the shins, and exhale, forward fold. Finding some spinal mobility with a twist, so right hand stays down, left arm reaches high. Switch sides, left arm down, right arm high. And back down towards your forward fold. Before rising up towards standing, grabbing a block that's handy, just one for right now, and then rising up towards a standing position. We're gonna take the block and take it directly between our inner thighs. So the inner thighs actually help you connect towards your core. So the inner thighs help you zip in towards center line. Physically rolling the inner thighs back allows for a straighter spine, more freedom in your entire body. So fully connected here, ground your feet in towards the floor. We're gonna practice handstand even here. So before you get nervous, we're gonna stay standing and just simply reach our arms above your head. Flex at your palms, so like you're pushing through the ceiling. And then try to lift through your lats. So lengthening through your side body, keep squeezing in towards the block. Stay right here, gaze steadily forward. If you'd like, you can start to look up high, noticing how that might create a slight back bend into your spine. So then take the gaze back forward. Press up, lengthen through even more, and you're in handstand. Good job. Release the hands by your side body. Inhale, reach back high, big breath. Exhale, hands towards your heart. That was excellent, great first inversion. All right, so let's take the block out between your inner thighs and try to remember how that felt on your body when everything was stacked and perfectly aligned. And it's okay to feel that core connection because that's gonna help you get into your inversions later on during practice. So if you need to grab the block later on during class and experience that connection one more time, you have my permission to do so. So let's begin with a couple rounds of sun salutations to warm up the body first. Inhale, reach your arms high, and exhale, forward fold. Going through sun salutation A, halfway lift, inhale, step back plank pose. Lowering down for your chaturanga, option to drop the knees on your first one. Inhale, lift your heart high, and exhale, downward facing dog. Staying here for a couple breaths. And can you notice those inner thigh lines rolling back? So exactly what you felt when you were standing up. experiencing that core connection even here. Take the gaze forward, step towards the top. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Rise all the way up towards a standing position. And let's do 2 more. Exhale, forward fold, drop it down. Halfway lift, inhale. Step back, plank pose. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Again, take the gaze forward, step to meet your hands. Halfway lift, inhale, gaze is forward. And exhale, forward fold. Last time, inhale, reach up high. And exhale, back down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, step back, plank pose. Chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Taking an inhale in through your nose, and just a sigh through your mouth. Dropping down onto your knees, and going through a couple more rounds of cat-cow, this time into tabletop position, so traditional cat-cow. Exhale, press round, and inhale, look forward. Exhale, press, and inhale, look forward. Last time, cat pose. Last time, cow pose. Child's pose, press it back. Allow the knees to go wide, chest down. We'll be here for about 3 to 5 breaths, so during this time, start to work into your wrists, just giving them a couple circles. And then reverse the circles opposite direction. And drop the hands back down, but this time palms face up for child's pose. So yes, it should feel different physically, but also energetically. Energetically receiving what you need for today's practice. What's gonna bring you the most freedom today? And knowing that it's not selfish to receive. It's a natural human instinct in order for you to survive. So getting what you need out of today's practice, be it physically, mentally, or emotionally. Flip the hands back down towards your mat. And slowly rise back towards down dog. Doing a couple rounds of Sun Sal B now. Reach your right leg high towards the sky. Then draw a knee towards your nose, core connection. Inhale, kick back high. Step forward, warrior 1. So 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale, reach your arms high. And exhale, drop it down. Chaturanga, lower towards the floor. Inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, press back. Downward facing dog. Lift your left leg high towards the sky. Draw a knee towards your nose, connect. Kick back high, inhale. Step forward, warrior 1. Again, 1 breath, 1 movement, back foot 45 degrees. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, lower down, chaturanga towards the floor. Inhale, up dog, lift your chest. And exhale, downward facing dog, press back. Take the gaze towards the front of the mat, step to meet your hands. Lift halfway, inhale. And exhale, forward fold. On your next inhale, rise all the way towards the top and then sink down towards your chair pose. So knees are together, core is connected, and feet, toes touch, ankles wide, hands high. Try to plug your shoulders down your back body, then draw the tailbone down towards the floor. So everything is working together as one. Charging your muscles, sink back into the glutes, and exhale, forward fold, drop it low. Halfway lift, inhale, and take your feet wide, sinking down into a squat. So we'll be here for about 5 to 7 breaths, so this is gonna help us set up into crow pose. So in order to get successfully into a crow, needing to stretch the inner thighs first to find that opening so it makes it easier to move in. If you'd like to place the block underneath the tailbone for support, you can stay right here, working on more opening towards the inner thighs, chest high. Hands towards the heart as your option, and always feeling free to close the eyes. Slowing the breath down. Sun salutations, yes, they warm up the body, so trying to get that breath back to normal. Your next exhale, go ahead and open up your eyes and drop the hands down low, wide-legged forward fold. Placing your block off towards the side if you had one for stability. And then inhale, lengthen through your spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Keep your legs wide, hands high towards the ceiling, hands towards the heart. Working into our lats once again, and let's stretch them out so we can have complete range of motion before we move into an inversion. So inhale, reach high. Drop your right hand down towards your side body and then stretch through your side body towards the left, bicep by the ear. If you want to move into a back bend, you can start to roll your chest open, continuing to look high towards the ceiling. So you should feel a real lengthening where your lats are, something that you worked at the very beginning of class when we were in modified handstand. Switching sides. Left arm down, right arm high. Again, working to stretch the side body out. You can stay exactly as you are, or a slight opening through your chest for a little bit of a back bend. Come back up, hands next towards your side body, and keep the feet exactly as they are. We're gonna go back into standing cat-cow, because I want you to notice the arch of your spine, because that's gonna be the exact positioning that you need in order to get into crow, for that arch into cat. So hands directly down towards your knees, and watch my spine here. So I'm gonna roll through my spine. See that arch at the very top of the cervical into the thoracic. So that's gonna be where you're going when you go into crow pose. Your inhale, look forward, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Inhale, look forward, cow. Last time, exhale, cat. Inhale, look forward, cow. Stand all the way back up towards the center of your mat. Feet still wide, sink down into your squat. All right, so grab one block and then grab another block, remembering that blocks are your friends, not foes. And we're gonna use both. So let's go ahead and start to move into our very first inversion for crow. So for crow pose, let's start out with one block first. We'll use the other block later. And I want you to come onto your knees. So tabletop position. Place the block about midway towards your mat. And then this is gonna act as your perch. So kind of like a crow on a tree branch. So this will be your perch that you stand up on. Taking your feet onto your perch, spread your knees wide back into that similar squat pose. So I like to think of my knees as deodorant sticks. So the closer you get your knees up towards your triceps, the easier that crow pose is actually going to be. Hands come down towards your mat. Then the key is shifting the weight forward and slight bend at your elbows so you're not hyperextending. So it feels almost like chaturanga arms. So try to draw those elbows back rather than out, so no bulldogging. Elbows back. Again, knees directly connected towards the triceps. And then just start to shift the gaze forward. You can stay exactly here, and guess what? You're doing crow. Or maybe try challenging your balance, challenging your inversion by lifting one toe up. Maybe the other toe comes up and you're flying. Once you've had enough flight, come back down onto your perch. And good job, you did it. Whatever variation you were in, you just did crow. So we're gonna come back in, but let's give our wrists a break first. So come off your block, place it off towards the side, All fours position. Hands are gonna come palm face down, fingers back towards you. We're gonna do this one at a time first. If you prefer to go both hands down, palm face up, you have that freedom to do so. So the more that you shift back towards the ankles, you're gonna feel an extreme stretch onto your forearm and definitely into your wrist. So move in as much as you need to feel the stretch. Remember, keeping the wrist happy and healthy in order to be safe. Once you took the other hand, let's go ahead and switch palms. So still palm face down, fingers back towards you, shifting the weight back if you need more, and getting a wrist stretch. Coming back towards normal. This time, palms face up. Still fingers back towards you. You can do both at the same time or one at a time still. The more you shift back, the more you're gonna feel the intensity. And release. Downward facing dog, press back just to stretch through the back body. Since we just took that huge arch in our crow pose. Then come back down onto your knees. All right, so for the second variation, you can still take the block. Otherwise, you can take both blocks. And this is also where it gets pretty fun. It's kind of like a game that you can play with yourself. All right, so we're still gonna use one block for a perch. So you can try different heights. So same idea, we're taking the knees onto the triceps, shifting the weight forward, maybe taking one toe up at a time, and then can you hop towards the other block? Ugh, that was hard, but really fun. Still same thing, knees connected towards the triceps, shift forward, and then step back towards the second block. Come back in towards crow pose, knees towards the triceps, step back all the way towards the ground, into your squat. Oh my gosh. Who had fun? I did. I hope you had fun too. So that's gonna help you working on floating into crow. So it helps to have that upward lift and what we in yoga call your Uddiyana Bandha, your upward flying muscles, your core, the very top of the core, that helps you lift into your inversions. So if you wanted to try jumping fully into crow, you can keep working with both blocks, but now we can try without the blocks. So first let's try crow without the blocks, just regular crow. Hands come down towards the ground, knees connect towards the triceps. Shift the weight forward, still my feet are connected towards the ground, so I'm still in crow, but if you wanted to lift one foot up and then the other, you can fly. Come back down, squat. Hands towards the heart center. Give yourself an applause. And then back towards downward facing dog. So the cornier you are in inversions, the more fun you can have. So just having a little bit of playtime here. This is technically your recess time for today. Inhale in, big breath. And exhale out. All right, so earlier I talked about jumping into crow. We already practiced that with the blocks. So now you can practice without the blocks. So from downward facing dog, we're gonna bend at the knees and just shift forward, shift back. So it should feel like you're a frog bending at the knees, pressing back, and then shifting into plank pose. Press back, shift forward. Press back, shift forward. You can stay exactly here or start to do some hops. Doing some froggy kicks, some donkey kicks. Take a breather, child's pose. Once you've caught your breath, go ahead and rise back up into downward facing dog. So you know your options. You can use the blocks. You can shift forward, shift back. Do a couple donkey kicks. If you're wanting to try to float into crow, bend at your knees. Trying to get your hips high above your head. Jump up and land. It may take a couple times to move into, but once you are good, drop your knees down towards the mat and rest. Coming into a meditative seat, drawing your breath back to normal. Whatever happened in your inversion, know that it's just a practice. It does not define who you are. Can you feel your heart beating? Letting that define you instead. Knowing that you gave your heart a work out and in. Inhale, breath in through your nose, and exhale, soft sigh out through your mouth. When you're ready, coming back into your downward facing dog, to stretch the hamstrings out. Then taking the gaze forward, cross at your legs, come onto your back body. So bring your block with you as you lower down. So before moving into our handstands, we're gonna work into handstand prep. So block is gonna come directly back in between your inner thigh line to connect to your core. We're gonna do some core work before moving back into some handstand basics. So interlace the hands behind the neck for support, and then draw your knees directly in line with your hip bones. Flex at your feet in order to activate the entire body. Just noticing how your entire vertebra is connected towards the mat below. Reaching and connecting for your sit-up, reach up, and then exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Last time lift, last time lower. Bridge pose, feet down, knees high, hands come next towards your side body, reversing what we just did with our core crunches, and press into the floor to allow the hips to rise. Keep squeezing into your midline. Slowly release the hips down and release the block. Place it off to the side. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Just rock side to side, giving yourself some extra love for all the hard work that you're putting in today. Come back towards the center and raise your legs back up towards the sky. Flex at your feet to activate into your core. We're gonna do this one at a time, each leg. Slowly as you can, lowering your right leg towards the hover. And then inhale, reach back high. Exhale, left leg towards the hover. Inhale, reach back high. So I know this may seem simple, but can you bring awareness to your entire spine and try to draw it flat towards the floor? Try not to bring any arch into the back body. Instead, activating, using your core this entire time, muscle rather than momentum. Last time, lowering the right, lifting, lower your left, inhale, lift high. Happy baby pose, draw the knees out wide. Hands around either the big toe, or you can use the hands onto the outer edge of your feet to draw the knees directly along your side body. Hug your knees back in towards the center. Then slowly rock up, cross at your legs, downward facing dog, press back. Right leg reaches high. Draw knee in towards your nose, connect. Kick back high, inhale. Runner's lunge, step forward. Drop the back knee down, inhale, reach the arms high, Anjaneyasana. And exhale, half split. Lengthen through your front leg. So you have 2 blocks here if you need some modification to stretch through your hamstring. So this is still our handstand prep. So lengthening through the back leg so that it makes it easier to access handstand by lengthening and using your stretched muscles to get up there. Dropping the chest down low, stretching through your back body. Then shift back forward into runner's lunge and standing needle pose. If you prefer not to use the blocks, place them off towards the side. Then starting to work on your balance here. This is going to help you lift up into a handstand by shifting the weight into your ball of your foot on your right foot, that grounded foot, and lift your heel high, using your hands as support, your core for stability, and your Uddiyana Bandha, those upward flying muscles, to start to lift higher. Release the top leg down, forward fold. Allow the upper body to relax, hanging in ragdoll pose. Lift halfway, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Again, a halfway lift, inhale. Step back, plank pose. Staying here, again, core integration to continue to make it easier to move into inversions. So strong core makes the inversion practice. Take your right knee in toward your tricep, step it back. Left knee in toward your tricep, step it back. Right knee, step. Left knee, step. Last time right, step. Left, step. Downward facing dog, press back. Inhale. Exhale, side through your mouth. Reach your left leg high. Knee towards your nose, connect. Kick back up, inhale. Step forward, Anjaneyasana, drop that back knee towards the ground. Inhale, reach your arms up high. Half split pose, lengthen through your front leg, and activate your front foot by drawing your toes back towards you. So protecting the hamstring here. Get an option to use your blocks on either side of the leg, and then dropping your chest down low. On your inhale, shift forward, runner's lunge. So tuck the back toes, raise your back knee, and moving towards your standing needle. So either the blocks come and stay with you, rising your back leg high, or dropping the hands down towards the ground, maybe even lifting up onto the very ball of the foot, lifting your heel high. Releasing forward fold. Hands around the elbows. Release the hands down low, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, step back, plank pose. Again, core integration, right knee towards the left tricep, kick back. Left knee across the body, right tricep, kick back. Switch, kick back, switch, kick back. Last time, switch, kick back, switch, kick back. Downward facing dog, press the hips high. Lion's breath, inhale. Exhale, sigh out. All right, so we built up this entire class around your handstand practice. So first, walk the hands back towards your feet. Lift halfway, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach high, stand up. And hands towards your heart center. So grabbing blocks if you need them, because we're gonna come back towards standing needle. We've done core work, we've done lengthening into your hamstring, lengthening into your lats to find the pose right here. So trying to move slow, again, muscle rather than momentum, giving yourself space, so acknowledging anything around you that may not serve your practice today, so clearing the space, especially if you're practicing safe falling, and knowing that it's okay to fall out of the pose. All right, so hands are gonna come down. I'm gonna use the blocks just to move in first. Right foot comes down, left leg high, standing needle. You can stay right here if this is your practice today. If you're wanting to work on getting up into handstand, remove the blocks, hands come low. So remembering that the definition of an inversion is hips directly above your hands, so that everything is in one line. Lift high onto the ball of your foot. And what we practiced earlier with those donkey kicks, I want you to practice here now in handstand. So starting to do little tiny kicks first, and then maybe trying a challenge to kick up high. Moving in slow, shifting the weight into the fingertips as your break. And if you catch airtime, activate the feet and then press up. Trying one leg first, lengthen through the lats, flex at the feet. Come down, give yourself a break, forward fold. Shake it out. So on this next side, I'm gonna show you how to practice safe falling. Usually it's nice to tuck and roll, or even land in a back bend. So practicing the other leg this time. So let's lift your right leg high. Again, if you're using the blocks and you're staying in standing needle, stay right there. Otherwise, hands ground down into the floor. Then lift high onto the ball of your left foot. Shifting the weight into your hands. Your fingertips act as your brakes to keep you from rolling forward. Again, tuck and roll if you fall out. So let's practice safe falling here. Lifting up, my back body goes out, starts to move out of the pose. And then landing with the feet grounded down, either in wheel or all the way down towards the floor. And let's get back into the practice. So rising all the way up, coming back towards your mat, knowing that it's okay to fall because that's part of the practice, sloughing it off and coming back in. So a couple times again to do a couple kick-ups, as many times as you'd like, and then meeting with the feet together, halfway lift, and walk out to find your downward facing dog. So this is just transition now. We are done with our inversion practice for today. Now finding some restoration and pigeon. So stepping your right leg forward, knowing you can modify on your back body if you're wanting to move into the all fours, number 4 position instead, by crossing the right leg over, holding here, finding your rest. If you'd like to continue to stay on your belly, really try to lengthen through the spine and drop the head low. Slowly switch sides. Option to move through a vinyasa, but we have done a lot of work today, so trying to move into something more restorative. Maybe cat-cow instead for your modified vinyasa. And then stepping the other leg forward to find pigeon pose. So same modification still available if you want to move down onto your back body for your number 4 position with your left leg. Otherwise, start to drop your chest low, coming into half pigeon. And knowing just like recovery, yoga is a journey in and of itself. Every single pose takes time. Time to be in the pose, time to transition out of the pose. Then what can you learn about yourself while you're holding an asana? What can you learn about yourself if you find that you're not, quote unquote, perfecting your asana? Last breath. And shift both legs forward, hugging your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a big hug for everything that you've accomplished today. Be it falling, be it trying something new. Maybe this was the first time you tried an inversion. Congratulate yourself for being present and being willing. Start to lay down all the way down onto the back body. Let's come into a twist, giving our spine a well-deserved break for everything that you did today with inversions. So right leg hugs in, allow your left leg to go long. Supine twist, right leg crosses over. I really like a block underneath my knee for support. Since this is the more restorative part of the class, either finding a block or finding the ground. And gaze can come towards the opposite direction of your bent knee. Switching sides, you can take the block with you. Staying for a couple breaths. And drawing your legs back in towards your chest, giving yourself another well-deserved hug. Rounding your nose up to meet your knees. Optional smooch towards each knee. Mwah, mwah. And release Shavasana. Staying here for just a couple moments. Allowing everything that you did today to completely integrate together as one. And this is where we really find freedom. Yes, you can find freedom in a pose, but allowing, just like a snow globe that shakes up, and then allowing the snow to settle down. So reaping the rewards of your asana practice by coming into a meditative position here in Shavasana. Starting to move into fetal position on your next breath. Moving over towards your right side. Using your forearm as a pillow to rest. And slight bend at the knees. Taking a seat towards the very front of your mat, trying to keep your eyes closed here. Hands towards the heart center. Bowing down. And whatever you thought of towards the very beginning of class that brought you a deeper sense of freedom, draw that back here. Taking your final inhales in and exhales out through your nose, repeating your intention, a deeper sense of freedom. And together we take one more deep breath in and exhale out through your mouth. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. That was definitely a challenge, so I appreciate you showing up and being willing to try something new. Until next time, namaste.